Hi everybody and welcome to this edition of the Jay Beech Show, powered by Hometown Hype. I'm Jason Baker, joined by our head coach Jay Beech. We're talking about the 58-20 victory over Lawrence County, the regular season finale. And just real quick, Jay, it was just such a great performance and kind of a final cherry on top, if you will, to a perfect regular season.
Yeah, we talked about, there wasn't anything to play for as far as playoff seedings, things of that nature, but we did want that perfect season, and the kids come out and executed well enough to get that for us.
Absolutely. 58-20 was the score. The Hornets took the victory. After our sponsors do some talking, we're going to come back and talk about the first half on the Jay Beech Show, powered by Hometown Hype.
Created in 1979 and now owned and operated by the second generation of the Tynes family, Benny's Automotive is your place for all your maintenance and repair needs. In our convenient 5 Enterprise Drive location for the past 2 years, Benny's is always ready for an oil change, fluid and air check with no appointment needed. And when the job requires more, we offer the latest in diagnostic technology to pinpoint any problem. No job is too big or too small for our auto repair team. Open weekdays from 7:30 to 4:30. We offer student and military discounts, foreign and domestic services, AC and admission checks, tire rotation, and much more. Visit us today for hometown-friendly service that keeps you on the road and headed to the game.
Welcome back to the Jay Beech Show, powered by Hometown Hype. And now we take a look at the first half. And I thought it was one of the more tougher game scenarios, just like you alluded to in the first segment. There wasn't a whole lot to play for other than a perfect regular season. The weather played a part, so we're playing at a 5 o'clock hour. And then what do? You come out, you put your defense on the field, and they score with a safety. Ahmad Bolton and Ross Barnett kind of teamed up for the safety. That as a coach, that has to make you awfully proud that your team can make those kind of transitions and still step off the bus and play well.
Yeah, it messed up our routine, but it messed up Lawrence County routine as well, so just kind of the team that could handle that the best. So that first play to come out with safety, you can't. First of all, the kickoff coverage was great. We got it down there close enough to where we could even get a safety. And I don't even think there was a penalty. Our kickoff coverage team just pinned them that far back and couldn't start off the game any better than that.
When you look at that kickoff team, that was one of the weaknesses early in the season. Have you seen some progression from that unit as the season's gone on?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That kickoff coverage team has progressed. Our kicks have gotten a lot better, for one. And the guys have kind of learned from their mistakes early in the year and kind of gotten better at their coverage on their lanes and not overrunning the kick returner, breaking their feet down, things of that nature. But yeah, we've gotten a lot better at that.
So with the safety, we get the ball back, and obviously no Austin Bolton Friday night against Lawrence County, a young man making, I believe it would be his first career high school start, and Ethan Taylor, and we march right down the field. Ethan gets the score, and I know his teammates were excited for him in that role. Tell us a little bit about what we call him, ET, and he's a heck of a ball player that's growing up in this program.
Yeah, well, Austin's out, and then you got Chase out as well, so ET's in there, and he's hadn't got a whole lot of reps at that position this year. He played a lot of JV, but as far as running with the varsity, he hadn't got a whole lot of reps at the tailback position, so he was actually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the week still kind of learning some of the plays. And but he's really smart. He picked up on them really quick and did a really fine job for us Friday night.
As the first quarter went on, I thought one of the key moments of the game too was on their second offensive series. They drove all the way down the field. They got within the goal line, within the 10-yard line. But our defense turned them back. Ahmad Bolton made several big plays down by the goal line. And at that point, you really could sense that we were going to show up and play our style of football. Tim Story, again, just a great job. That had to be a big point in your opinion, that we turned it around, I would say.
Yeah. Lawrence County and their coaching staff did a good job scheming up some plays and got us some yardage. And they got the ball down the field and but they got in that red zone. Our defense pinned their ears back and held them out.
From that point, Tyson got going. I thought Antonio got going. Mm-hmm. He hits Kanan Ray there late in the first quarter for his first of 2 touchdown receptions. Talk to us a little bit about the play and in the play of Antonio down the stretch.
Yeah, I think we caught 5 or 6 passes. I think we were 3 for 4. I don't know of a bad pass that he threw. He threw a couple of incompletions, but they were where they needed to be. They were out in front and where the defender couldn't get there. So, yeah, we were proud of him. Threw the ball well. When he's throwing the ball well, we have confidence, and that's just more open our offense to get.
How much have you seen progression from Tyson? As we headed into the second quarter, Tyson made a couple big runs for us, really at times that we needed him to. It kind of was not that Lawrence County was controlling the game, but it was just at pivotal moments of a ball game in the first half. And it seemed like every time we had one of those Friday night against Lawrence County, you relied on Tyson.
Yeah.
Talk to us about a little bit, maybe about the second half of the season that Tyson has had.
Well, Tyson's just running with a lot of confidence and determination right now. And our receivers are blocking better for him, actually. We had some Cannons been there. We had some young guys rolling in with Cannon. And that we need them to block that edge for Tyson to make some good runs. So that's gotten better and allowed Tyson to have some more open lanes to run through. And then when he gets there, he's running with confidence and determination. And, that's big.
The defense had created a turnover late in that second quarter, gave us the football back. We marched it right back down the field and score. We're up 37-8 at the half. And I know in your radio interview Friday night, you said our intensity's kind of down, but that's got to make you feel awfully good that you can maybe not necessarily play to the level that we've always expected, but you still take a 37-8 lead into the half, I would say.
Yeah, I didn't think our intensity level was very high. Just on a few drives, our defense just missed some tackles that we normally don't miss. But I think it picked back up. I think it kind of woke us up. And, offense scored every time we got it. Defense allowed a few drives and a few missed tackles.
So with that being said, one of those guys on the defense is Roosevelt Rain. He's going to be our senior profile. He's about to sit down with McKenzie in a few moments. Talk about Ro. He's a young man that a wonderful story. To me, the essence of high school football, developed into a running back through the spring, has since been needed on defense, has transitioned over there without qualm, without issue. Mm-hmm. Talk to us a little bit about Roosevelt and maybe the senior year that he's had, not just running it, maybe from a leadership standpoint, and then also transition into a different position defensively.
Yeah, Roosevelt's one of those kids you can't help but to be proud of. He's kind of a late bloomer. He spent a lot of time as a sophomore and as a junior, not getting a whole lot of playing time, varsity, but he worked out real hard. He developed the strength in his body, and that can be a motivating factor for a lot of people. That you stick with it, stick in there. You work real hard, and then now he's getting the benefits of that work. He's a great player for us. He can play offense, he can play defense. He's got an offer from Pearl River Community College, so. Just super proud of him, and he's had to really step up on defense for us the last few weeks. And he's a good player for us out there, and he's going to get better.
Absolutely. Roosevelt Rain, our senior profile, sitting down with Mackenzie Harris on the Jay Beech Show, powered by Hometown Hype.
Hey everybody, I'm Mackenzie Harris, and I'm sitting down with Roosevelt Rain for his senior profile. And man, it's been a great year so far, and I really don't know what position to call you because you've jumped from so many different things. Can you kind of tell me a little bit about starting in that fullback position? Now you're kind of playing a lot of defense, and tell me a little bit about that.
I love both sides of the ball. It's fun. Running the ball, scoring, getting tackles, it's amazing. I just love the feeling that I'm playing both.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that on the defensive end side, Devin got hurt and you kind of had to step in. And being a senior this year, coming into that new role, had you played that before any? Like in your younger years, had you played defensive end before, or was this your first kind of step in?
This is like the second year I really played it. I played it in like ninth grade. I've been moving around positions, but they moved me back, and I really like it.
Absolutely. It's probably fun getting up there and going against somebody. Yeah. And so let's talk about, too, the Hornets are 10-0. Like I said, it's your senior year. What a great senior year it's been for you, I bet. And like I said earlier, last year we broke records and made history, but this year we've already made history just with district games. How are you feeling going into playoffs?
It feels good. It's amazing just to know we're making it back to playoffs, and it's just another thrilling moment that we're able to do it again. Just blessed.
Absolutely. And talking about playoffs, is there anything that's changed during the practices? Like, are y'all doing the same thing? Y'all sticking with what you got? Or are y'all changing anything up? What's this week going to look like?
I mean, we still sticking with what we got. It's just a harder grind, more focused practices, and everybody just giving it all every day.
Absolutely. Talk to me about the coaches too. You know, you probably had, with switching roles and stuff like that, you've had to focus on, you know, certain coaches like Coach Owen, and then now on the defensive side, who's the defensive end coach that you
Coach
work
Rocky.
with? Coach Rocky works with you a lot. Tell me about those guys.
They're great coaches. I mean, they funny. They give off a positive energy every day at practice. I love them to death. They love me, and we just work together, get better.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Roosevelt, thank you so much for sitting here and talking with me. And when we come back, we're going to get to sit down with Roosevelt's family and get to know him a little bit better.
Have you taken a look at your hometown Radio Shack lately? Sure, you have shopped them before for electronics, satellite, and mobile service, and maybe even some office supplies. But have you dropped in to see their expanded hardware and outdoor inventory? With brands you trust like Valspar, Stanley, and Irwin, any home repairs that need doing, we have the supplies for you. And that fall weather means more outdoor activities. Radio Shack Poplarville Hardware has Rio ammunition and fishing supplies. With friendly service and our convenient location right on Main Street, when you're in the middle of a project or just in your daily routine, think of us first. Open Monday through Saturday, 35 years, and still servicing the people of Poplarville. Check out your local Radio Shack Poplarville Hardware and Electronics.
Hey everybody, I'm back with Roosevelt and his family, his mom Eva and his sister Fantasia. And Fantasia, I want to ask you first about Ro. You know, watching him on Friday nights, it's got to be exciting. It's got to be fun out there. Kind of tell me about how that feels to watch him.
It's really exciting. I like when he's playing offense and running the ball. We get really excited in the stands for him, and the defense when he gets a big tackle.
Yeah, he seems like he gets excited after a big tackle. When he comes out there strutting and everything, it's fun to watch him. And Miss Eva, I'm going to turn to you and ask a little bit more personal about Roosevelt. Why don't you tell me what he was like as a little boy? What was he like?
He was very active, excited. He liked football, racing cars, and being very competitive.
Yeah,
in sports and stuff.
Was he kind of mischievous as a kid, or was he a good kid?
He was a good kid.
He was a good kid for the most part?
Yeah.
I got you. And he was always athletic, always wanting to do sports?
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, Ro, why don't you tell us a little bit about your senior this year? What are your plans for next year? What is college looking like for you?
I was looking forward to going to the engineering field in college, and I got an offer from Pearl River, so that's a blessing.
That's very exciting, and absolutely stay here so we get to watch you and stay close to home. That'd be really exciting to get to watch you out there. Well, I want to thank y'all so much for coming into the studio and talking with me and letting us get to know Ro a little bit better.
Welcome back, everybody, to Jay Beech Show, powered by Hometown Hype. I'm Jason Baker, your host, sitting down with our head coach, Jay Beech. Now we transition to the second half of that Lawrence County game, and well, personally, I was excited. I was looking forward to seeing some of the young guys on this team. During the broadcast Friday night, there for a while it felt like every kid's name I called was a sophomore, and that's got to be awfully exciting to know we've got that kind of talent coming through. One of them started the second half as quarterback, Blaze Breerwood. Then you got to see a Kazai Daniels make some runs. Zach Owen continued to play. And then one kid that I thought was a big bright spot Friday night was a kid, Seth Lee, who I had no idea was on the football team. He comes in when Mario goes out, has to play tight end. We're without Devin Hart as well. That just shows the depth that we have on this team. Talk a little bit about some of those youngsters as they kicked off play of the second half.
Yeah, those sophomores really have dominated for a while now in football, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. You could just, I think there's about 30 of them, and from top to bottom, just really talented, really athletic group. Tough kids, hard-nosed, we got a bunch of them, like you said, Seth Lee, Corey Knight, E.T. If I was trying to name them all, I'll definitely forget some of them. But top to bottom, really strong class.
When you look at Blaze is a young man that's confident, good athlete. he has kind of blossomed this year, I would say. He's begun to kind of been plucked in defensively. Tim Story kind of used him all over the field. And then you come out and you give him a chance to kind of control the offense in the second half. Talk a little bit about maybe the play that Blaze made. And then, of course, he scores late in that third quarter. I think he'd actually pushed our score to like 51-14 at that point on the naked bootleg by Blaze.
Well, Blaze, the kid, I didn't nothing against him. I didn't think he was going to be quite fast enough and quite tough enough to physically play defense for us as a sophomore. I thought it'd take him a year or two, but he proved me wrong. He came in and had an excellent offseason, one of the better off seasons from a sophomore that we had. And he worked himself up and gained some weight, and he got tougher, and he got more physical, and he's faster than I thought he was going to be. So, and he's able to earn himself some reps on defense. I knew he was going to be good at quarterback. That wasn't an issue. So. And he's done well there. Coach Owen's done a great job getting him ready to get some reps as well there too.
One of the other sophomores, and he really got his opportunity to shine, was Keziah Daniels Friday night. He had a highlight making run with a stiff arm in the middle of it and then kind of turned a corner. And he's a young man. Keziah's had a tough sophomore campaign. He's been thrown out there on an island, man coverage against some very talented wide receivers, and he's had some success, he's had some failure that you're going to have as a defensive back. But most importantly, I think about Keziah is I love that each and every Friday night he's there ready to compete, and I thought Friday night was a prime example of that.
Keziah's a good player, great player for us, and he's a big physical sophomore. He's got some good size on him and speed, and he's always in a good mood. He might get beat on one play, but he's in a great mood. He's ready to get back there and compete the next play, and that's what you need in defensive backs. Somebody that never gets down on themselves, just competes, plays as hard as he can. If he gets beat, he gets beat. If he makes play, but he's always just level-headed and right there ready.
One of the other young men to highlight Friday night that I thought he has really picked it up over the last few weeks, and we needed him to, that's Ethan Spears, our kicker. Mm-hmm. He was 8 for 8 on extra point attempts Friday night in the rain. That's not easy. That was a tight surface. That's not an easy kicking surface either. But he has really performed over the last couple of weeks. Talk to us a little bit about Ethan and how excited does that make you maybe that our kicking games kind of come together as the playoffs are kind of rolling around?
Well, I don't know if we'd be very successful, or at least as successful as he has been, if we didn't have a good kicker. And Ethan has worked himself, worked all year, and has now gotten to be where he's a really good kicker. He can kick it almost to the goal line, and so he has some touchbacks on his kickoffs, and he's gotten a lot better at his PATs. He's made most of them over the past month, and the ones he did miss, sometimes it was a bad snap or maybe a bad hold, but he's got a lot better.
Our player of the week is Antonio Barnes with his performance against Lawrence County, and Antonio is all of a sudden he's starting to kind of hit that stride that he's been so familiar of. At least those of us who followed the program a year ago, he was playing well down the stretch. And with Antonio comes his position coach, Jacob Owen, who has had a fantastic year calling plays for you and your staff. Mm-hmm. Talk to us a little bit about Jacob, and maybe what do you feel, how has Jacob affected Antonio's play?
Yeah, Jacob, Coach Owen, he just makes everybody on our team tougher. He makes our running backs tougher, our quarterback mentally tougher, physically tougher. He pushes them, motivates them, and they respond to him. And our running backs have always been complimented by everybody on how well they block, not just how well they run, how well they carry out fakes. And, that you've got to credit that to Coach Owen.
When you look at Antonio, how excited does it make you, or maybe how much concern did you have maybe earlier in the year that he wasn't necessarily playing to the level that we all have expected Antonio to play to? Mm-hmm. But now it kind of seems like when those games started mattering and as they're going to get bigger and bigger, he's a young man who kind of seems to shine the brightest when the lights are the brightest.
Yeah. We all knew he was going to pick it up. He might have had a bad game or two, but I don't know. I think everybody on the team had a bad game or two. And some of those maybe throws that didn't look very good from the stands, you have to attribute to maybe poor pass protection, things of that nature. So once our pass protection has gotten a little better and our receivers started running better routes, now Antonio's starting to throw some better balls, and it's all come together at the right time.
Absolutely. 58-20 was the victory over Lawrence County. Mackenzie Harris sits down with our Player of the Week, Antonio Barnes.
Hey everybody, I'm here with our Player of the Week, Antonio Barnes. And Antonio, I knew this day was coming at some point. I knew you were going to have to be Player of the Week at some point, and here it is. And man, you had a great game against Lawrence County. You were getting to throw a lot, you were getting to run a lot. You had some big connections with Kanan Ray and Tyson. Can you tell me a little bit about that game?
Yeah, it was a great game. You know, we knew we wasn't gonna be able to play a lot coming into the game, so just take the opportunity when you can.
Absolutely, because you only got to play like 2 quarters in that game, and you got pulled out, and it's like, oh man. But that was a great game. And tell me about running the ball. We've seen you run the ball a lot more this year than we have in the previous years. Can you tell me a little bit about running the ball?
Well, at the beginning of the year, coach was telling me that I would have to be able to use my legs a lot more. And, you know, it's been fun running the ball.
That was probably exciting for you. You're probably like, yeah, I want to use my legs. Heck yeah, let me have the ball. Well, Antonio, too, you know, we've had a great season. We've had a great run this year. But at the very beginning of the year, we had a center get hurt right off the bat and a center change for you. Can you tell me how big and important that center role is for a quarterback and how that was going through that change for you?
Well, me and Seth, we've been playing together ever since 6th, 7th grade. And it was kind of different from when Jordan came, but we was able to adapt to it. You know, it's been working ever since.
Right, and I mean, I haven't seen you make any mistakes. That's what we talk about is how, I mean, you don't make mistakes. You've done great all year with the handoffs and having so many different backs that you've had to give the ball to. And, you know, tell me about the play clock. That's what I was wanting to talk to you about, is you kind of have to manage that, and, you know, that's your kind of call there. Tell me about that.
The play clock, sometimes the coaches send the play in a little longer than it usually takes. You have to hurry up and call the play and all that and get to the line.
So that's your job, that you're responsible for that play clock?
I would say so.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, Antonio, too, you've been playing a lot. You've played a lot of football games. You've been the starting quarterback ever since 9th grade. And, you know, what I see on the field is like, I mean, you just look so confident out there. And it feels like, I mean, you've done this a million times. Like, you're really confident out there in that quarterback position. Can you kind of tell me about the confidence that you have there, you know, going from 9th grade to where you are now?
Well, it's all about practice. You know, practice makes perfect. You know, my coach, Coach Owen, he tells me just stay calm and just do what I need to do.
Right, and that's Coach Owen is that's a quarterback coach. Can you tell me the relationship that you have with him? Like, what's that like, your relationship with Coach Owen?
Oh, it's fun. You know, we joke around sometimes. Then it's time to get serious, but it's pretty fun.
Absolutely. And how are you feeling about going into playoffs this coming week?
It's pretty great.
Y'all are excited?
Yeah.
Excited to play? It's been a great season so far. Well, Antonio, congratulations on being named Player of the Week, man. Like I said, you had a great game last week, but you've had great games so far. I knew that you were going to come in here and get Player of the Week at some point. And when we come back, we're going to have some of Antonio's family join us and talk to us a little bit more about Antonio. Back with Antonio and his family, his mom, Miss Rosie, his dad, Mr. Dwight, and his sister, Maya. And I'm going to talk to Mr. Dwight first about Antonio. I know it's got to be kind of like a proud dad thing to watch Antonio every Friday night. You know, he's the quarterback. You know, he's been playing quarterback for a while. Tell me how it is watching him every Friday night.
Well, it's okay. I mean, you know, you get out and watch them go out and support them all. So it's really nice.
Really nice. And about that Hornet football team, it's probably cool to see him out there playing with those guys too, and playing with his brother and stuff like that, and seeing him out there. Absolutely, and Maya, I'm gonna turn out to you now, and I'm gonna ask you a little bit more personal about Antonio. What's he like at home? What's he like outside of football?
Well, he likes to stay in his room a lot, but sometimes I'll go in there and bother him. He'll come in my room, bother me. He tries to tell me what to do a lot.
He tries to be that protective brother over you sometimes. I got that. I could see that. I could see that. Well, Miss Rosie, I'm gonna turn to you now, and I'm gonna ask you about Antonio. What was he like as a little boy? You know, what was little boy Antonio like?
Well, he was always quiet like he is now and to himself. He never have any kind of concern over anything. Everything's just whatever. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. And that's it. That's Antonio, whatever. He don't get too excited about anything. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't.
Well,
That's Antonio.
Absolutely. That's what we kind of see out there on that
Yeah.
Friday night football games. We see that level, kind of cool-headed. Hey, it can
That's
go
it.
one way or it can go the other way, but he's going to stay calm and collected.
He's gonna stay Antonio.
Absolutely,
You
man.
never know his emotions. He never shows it.
That's a good quality to have as a quarterback because you keep everybody kind of on the same field. Well, Antonio, I want to congratulate you again on being named Player of the Week, man. That's awesome, and the coaches, they definitely saw that this week in you. They have nothing but good things to say about you, and I want to thank y'all, your family, for coming in and letting us get to know more about you. And again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Go, Josh, go. There you go. Oh,
You'll always be remembered for 10-0. Always. Very often. Sometimes I feel like those guys are legendary. Y'all right there with us. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of commitment, dedication. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to be 10-0. Very proud of you. Now we focus.
Oh, you got it!
I was focused on what we've been wanting to focus on all year.
Day by day, you better, brother. You better. We can't be beat. We can't be beat. We won't beat me. We won't beat me.
Welcome back, everybody, to Hometown Hype, the Jay Beech Show, and now we turn our attention to the playoffs. But before that, I do have to touch. This is the first undefeated season since 1972. I know you're a goal-oriented coach. I don't know that you set out for that to be a goal, but you've accomplished it. Now that it's done and we can put it to bed, how good does it feel to know that you're 10-0 and this group of kids will take that with them, you know, for forever as a part of history of this Poplarville program?
Yeah, being 10-0, like you said, wasn't even a goal of ours. That was kind of something that, you know, it seems surreal to achieve, but we achieved it, and it is surreal. I don't think we'll realize how cool it is or how special it is to maybe a few years down the road. But I couldn't imagine being a senior and having an undefeated team, so it's got to be great for them. And just really proud that we accomplished it. Now
that that's done, now here comes the playoffs, and your team was daunted as a odds-on favorite in 4A, at least in the South, preseason-wise, and now it's kind of the put-up or shut-up time. This is where you'll make your name or not. They're going to be in the Hornet's nest this coming Friday night. Talk to us a little bit about maybe the excitement that this playoffs is going to bring to this program, and then with that, transition into what do you think we'll see from Northeast? Yeah. Well, this type of year is just going to be really exciting football, and the farther we go, if we're fortunate enough to go a week longer, the farther you go, the more exciting it gets. So if we can just hang in there and focus and take it one game at a time, the next, if we get another opportunity to play, it'll just be that more exciting. And just added fun to the season. That's already been a lot of fun. So, we're just gonna. You can't look ahead at all. You just gotta enjoy one week at a time. We don't want to lose these seniors. You know, it'd be sad moment, sad day when these seniors won't be with us anymore. So, we're just gonna try to slow down right here and be with them as long as we can go. And Northeast Lauderdale has a good team, and I'm sure they'd love to come down here and knock us off. When you look at them, this is where I guess the playoffs become kind of tricky because they'll come in not a familiar opponent. I'm unaware if we've played them in the past. How tough does that make it? Or maybe does it make it easier that it's not a common opponent? And do you relish that ability now to kind of gather this team together and let's go focus on Northeast? Yeah. I think to be unfamiliar, the more unfamiliar an opponent is, the more we have the advantage as far as what do we do offensively and defensively. It's hard to get ready for the wing tee in 3 days. So, we tell our kids that, and that motivates us, and we think we have the advantage here. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. We don't know, but that's what we believe anyway. Absolutely. Well, look, congratulations. This was a lot of fun this season. 10-0. That's something that, like you said, those kids will take it with them for forever. I know I'll take it with me for forever. I enjoyed the ride. Jay, great job. We're going to wrap up the Jay Beech Show for the season. I'm looking forward to seeing how far this train can make it down the playoff tracks, if you will. Great job by you, and appreciate your time. All right, thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. Head coach Jay Beech, I'm Jason Baker. A special thank you to all of those behind the scenes at Hometown Hype. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of the Jay Beech Show. Now enjoy some images from our fan cam from the ball game against Lawrence County.